including me. And through the tribulation, I know I must stand. For unto heaven and to earth show me the way to Zion. Shalom. My life on the line, I'm begging, please. Please don't let me fall. Give me the strength. Place my feet, guide my to Zion. Going to Zion. Shalom, Awar. How you doing, Vanessa? Good to see you. Mrs. A, how are you? Rawchaa. Hey. Emmett Dot. Hello. Breadwinner Music. I know there's some interesting music there. Monica Spencer, how you doing? Hi, bless you. Jeffrey Dent, hi, Jeff. Contrite Spirit, what a good name. Sabas Anderson, Truth Spittis. How you doing? Danielle, Jonathan, Vladinka, Issachar 144, Zamir Candace, Afro-Polynesian. That's kind of cool. James What? Mel Venice, how are you? Come on in. Come on in, my brothers and sisters. I just wanted to make a few quick announcements, okay? Yes, we have Raphael Bernardino, Quaza Love, Sabbath Boutiques. Interesting. On and on and on. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Sister Rhonda, man, she's been in it to win it from almost the beginning of this. Praise the Most High. Child of the Most High, Ahia. I just wanted to make a few announcements, brothers and sisters. First of all, I would like to say all praises be to the Most High, Ahia, Bahashim Yeshaya Warawak. Okay? And, folks, I just wanted to say that, I'm not going to answer any questions today. Of course, you could eventually just send those to who knows, I may answer some questions at the end of this update. I'm just doing an update today, so just hold tight with your questions. I'll answer a few. And then after that, I'll answer, what I'll do is I'll go over the updates first, and then I'll answer a few questions. All praises be to the Most High, Ahaya Bashim Yeshaya Warawak. First and foremost, I would like to thank you all for all your prayers and your well wishes during the time for the last week or so. They're spraying stuff in the air, whatever the case might be. And I got a little cough. The cough led to a sore throat. And the next thing you know, I was down. So it was the Most High ultimately shutting me down for rest. I can see that. And through that time, was able to collect my thoughts in preparation for what's to come. All right? I know a lot of you, just like I care about all of you, I know you care about me. But I'm going to assure you, brothers and sisters, don't worry. You don't have to worry about me. The Most High got it, okay? But I had to rest and get myself prepared for a most interesting, quote-unquote, 2020, which is up on us all, on the horizon, right? Now, of course, I'm going to touch in more detail on the topics that concerning what's coming in prophecy for this coming year, more so on the radio station, okay? On the radio station this coming Sabbath. I don't know if you have noticed it or not, but there's been a concerted effort to censor the truth of the Most High and to demonize this awakening. And there is a target on all those who believe the truth. Okay. And this is not just on a community level. This is on what you would call an international world level. Okay. The world powers have been ramping up to consolidate their power and their influence for this particular time in which the children of Israel would begin the awakening throughout the four corners of the earth. This is the awakening of God's people. And it's what Satanists or paganists deems or call the age of Aquarius. It's an age in which the pagans can no longer control the narrative. Okay. And because of this, they're ramping up censorship, taking away freedom of speech, and looking to censor or altogether engage God's people. If you notice within the, if you haven't noticed, let me give you some insight here. Within the last year or so, there have been a ramp up of people that's called apologists, who are Jesuits, who have been stalking Israelites, okay, all over the earth. Now, you know they are paid agents through Satan because these people have no 9-to-5s. They have been tapped to actually infiltrate or altogether muddy the waters of this awakening by following Israelites, putting up different, what you would call videos against Israelites, and stalking camps and stalking brothers speaking who's not even messing with them. Our people, our teachers are focused on our people first. To the Jews first, like Paul taught, and then also the Gentiles. So we're not even in their space at all, but now it's them with the Jewish Defense League as well as the Southern Poverty Law Center and all the other Jesuits which were sent by the Catholics, because the Catholics is really the mother of all of them, to muddy the waters and to distort the understanding that's coming to our people. Now, this doesn't frustrate me at all because I understand what time we're in. We're going into a time of prophecy, of the persecution of the correct or the true church of Christ. And I need you all to stay vigilant and understand the time you're in and walk wisely with the knowledge the Most High has bestowed upon you. And another thing, brothers and sisters, do not get tossed to and fro in different winds of doctrine. You're going to have people out there who used to follow our church or came in our church for whatever reason, call on the name of Ahia because they learned it from us, but had their own intentions the whole time. So be very careful of those who may be calling on the name of Ahia by Hashem Yeshaya Rawchaa with false doctrine. Okay? Who are unlearned, who will just use our teachings to muddy the waters and throw stumbling blocks in front of those who are unlearned or who has just begun altogether. So not only do we have adversity or what you would call intrusion from the pagan Edomites calling themselves apologetics, which it means nothing to us at all. They're nothing really. Okay. And it's deep that their focus is focused. Their main focus is on preserving the black church who's under their control. You don't see the same aim towards the European or the white churches who are doing all types of mess. And you'll never see any apologetics or anything chasing them. There's this one pastor that's on the lam, been on the lam for the last month or so, who raped 600 black girls and gave a lot of them HIV, a pastor, a white pastor. And there's no apologetics out there saying anything, no Jesuits. Because why? That's the type of church they would like to continue to fester under Satan, to infest our communities and to destroy our people. Okay. Now, those that are still following the black churches, or the churches that are under the paganism, that are still following those guys, you have to let them be. Okay. You got to let them be. All right. These are the people, right, who don't even understand that they're under a slave mentality and are controlled, and actually are identified by apologetics and others as Hamites and Gentiles. So these are the, I would say at this time, the ignorant of our people, who don't even realize if you accept mainstream Christianity, you accept yourself as a lesser being, as a lesser person than Jewish people. Okay. But they'll tell our people, it doesn't matter. You're one in Christ, Jew or Greek, we're all one. Don't worry about it as long as you are in Christ. But at the same time, they'll be in our churches nudging our pastors and preachers in our community, our destitute community, to send money in to support Israel, Jewish Europeans in our land. So I need y'all to focus on that and check that out. The hypocrisy of that, of telling us it doesn't matter, we're all one in Christ, but at the same time upholding a people as God's people, which the Bible does not confirm. So you have to realize, folks, what the agenda is. The agenda is to cause a splinter between the children of Israel who has awakened and the children of Israel who are still asleep and is up under their control. Their focus, apologetics, Jesuits, and these others, their focus isn't the other nations at all. It have always been the dividing and conquering of our people. And I just pray that the Most High send a spirit to really, really resonate amongst these pastors so that they can break free from the control of the Jesuit pagan theological understandings. I just pray that the Most High will one day wake up these pastors and release them from that stronghold of paganism and have our pastors renounce Sunday worship. Look up its origin and renounce it. To have our pastors renounce Christmas because it has nothing to do with Christ. It has nothing to do with Mary. It has nothing to do with the Most High God. To have our pastors renounce all paganism, Easter, in reference of the goddess of star. Okay. And like I said, we are about to do a serious initiative all out throughout all of Africa. It's coming this coming year. We're going to have a presence on the street and in the community, the Gathering of Christ Church, for next year. Okay, in the community, right? In which, if you live in the community and you're under our church, you'll go to a community center or something and you'll have a weekly gathering updating the people with what's going on internationally and what's really happening outside of their communities, to awaken them and to really give our people some understanding and some hope beyond their destitute surroundings. And this is going to be the hope to bring the light all throughout all Africa and in the communities our people are suffering by the hands of our oppressive, our oppression under the Catholic and Christian church. Okay, so brothers going to have a ministry, sisters going to have a ministry, helping the brothers. We're going to go 2x2s on the streets, and we're going to be teaching, street preaching and all that. And guess what? We understand that eventually, because the so-called Jesuits deemed apologetics feel that their black pastors who are up under their wing isn't learned enough to contend against Israelites. You're going to see more and more stalking by these demons. Okay? These devils in sheep's clothing. So they're going to come out more and more. They're going to be sending apologetics to our speakings and other speakings, but they're not going to be looking to contend in the Bible because they can't really at all. Only thing they can do is muddy the waters and try to cause confusion without edifying at the end of it. Think about it. Any debates or discourse they get into, it's not even about bringing a resolve at the end of it. And I need y'all to focus on that. Their main focus is really to put a stumbling block by making the waters gray and murky so that no one don't even realize what the conversation was for in the beginning. And that they are experts at that. Just throwing out stumbling blocks so that someone young or someone who's not grounded can get confused at a certain point within the discussion. It's not about two people together on either side coming to one conclusion under Christ and walking together. And if that's not the purpose for the discussion, why have it? Right? So they're going to try to provoke to the degree now that they're being ignored and no one is listening to them anymore. I believe that these so-called demons called apologists will now step it up, in which they're going to try to provoke some level of physical altercation. That's why they keep provoking and running into Israelites and keep on, even though Israelites are ignoring them because they're not our focus, they're demons. So now they're going to ramp it up to a degree in which, folks, they're going to try to provoke a physical altercation. So we've already, amongst our church, said, if these guys come up that you know are Jesuits out there, ignore them. The only conversations we have for them is, we're here for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, to the Jews first and also the Gentiles. And the most you can do is shut up and listen. Why? We had thousands of years under your slave religion to come to some level of resolve. And look at our destitute communities under pagan Christianity. So if you haven't told us anything useful since slave ships, how can we listen to you now? Get out of our face and get out of our way. Either you're going to repent, shut up and get baptized, or allow us to teach our people. There's no other conversation because we don't philosophize here. We deal with the Bible as it is written. So if you're coming here to debate why I shouldn't follow the law, why I should be a pagan, why I should worship Sunday, you got the wrong argument here. I'm an Israelite. I'm an Israelite who believes in Christ. And Christ didn't follow none of these things, and neither shall we. So get out of our way, get out of our face. So they understand that's where it is right now. So what they'll do, being the demons they are, what they'll do next, brothers and sisters, is they'll focus and go online and find some unhinged group or a few brothers who just probably want to get recognized, who never been on video before, who may call themselves Israelites but don't have no type of following. So they'll find someone who they deem is unlearned and is looking for attention. And they'll focus on those particular guys to provoke them into an altercation. Look for that to happen. And what they're going to try to do is use that event of an altercation, knowing that they're muddying the waters when our people come online, don't know the difference between one Israelite or the other, will believe that that's all Israelites acting out after the so-called demons called apologetics provoked them. Look for that to happen. Okay? So, another thing I wanted to say right here. And I need you all to focus on this. You're going to have Israelites that's going to come to the knowledge of the truth, right? And keep in mind, brothers and sisters, just because they say Ahia, Yeshaya, doesn't mean they're a part of our church. They just learned under us, but have their own purposes. You're going to have people teaching it's okay to smoke marijuana, it's okay to do drugs. You're going to have, and they're going to be saying Ahia and Yeshaya. You're going to have people pushing the Book of Mormons, the Church of Latter-day Saints, which even Paul called out, says if anyone come teaching another gospel, let them be accursed. And in the book of the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Bible, it says another gospel. It's a book that was tainted, right? Because the book, you have to realize Joseph Smith, the demon he was, the Jesuit he was, the satanic Mason he was, once they conquered the North American Indians, which are the Gadites, they found gold tablets from our priest, which confirmed that the Indian tribes here in America are from the 12 tribes of Israel. But instead of them publishing the gold tablets, here it is, Joseph Smith, being the demon he was, came in and took some of that information and convoluted it, muddying the waters, they're experts at that, and made a new book called the Book of Mormon, and injected themselves as one of the 12 tribes of Israel, which was a lie. At the same time, you had other historians going back to Europe, touting in history books and all that they found the 12 tribes or some of the 10 tribes lost here in the Americas. So they used Joseph Smith, a pagan, a demon. They used him to convolute and muddy the waters by creating this book. So if you hear an Israelite teaching that the Church of Latter-day, or that book delivered to them by a Mason by the name, that demon by the name of Joseph Smith, you know that they have no connection with our church. The book has a compilation of all different verses in the New Testament, some in the Old Testament, and other injected theological points that are taught through the Catholic Church, along with some truth that came from the gold tablets. So the Bible doesn't refer us to the Church of Latter-day Saint, Joseph Smith, or the Book of Mormons. We only deal with books in which the Bible refers us to. So I'm saying this to you out there who are fairly young or don't understand fully. If the Bible doesn't refer you to a book as far as doctrine goes, you're not supposed to go there. Now, we have what you would call references, in which we go into books like this, right, with historical secular information only for historical value. But when it comes to teaching the text, we stay within the confines of the biblical books or the spiritual books the Bible refers us to. The Bible refers us to the book of Jasher. The Bible refers us to the book of Enoch. The Bible refers us, when you look in the Apocrypha, it refers us to the Apocrypha books, which was a part of the original King James. The Apocrypha refers us to the book of Jubilees. So all the records we go into, which put the pieces of the puzzles together, were given to us through the narrative of the Bible itself. And it so happened that the Book of Mormons is not one of those biblical records. So I wanted to put that out there so that you all can, stay on track with that. And not follow these new jacks who are coming through with no wiggle room. So they're looking to create their own to say, well, listen, check out what I have. This is what the elders aren't showing you. I knew about the Church of Latter-day Saints book in the early 90s. I read the whole book, in 2001. And I can say for sure that the book is littered with garbage, Roman garbage. And in the records of the book, it calls black people, it demeans black people all through the book, which is the doctrine of the Christian church, who would try to deem that we're from Ham or we're from the cursed seed of Cain. This is the ideology behind modern day or Roman Christianity. So be careful when you hear someone say that they're going into the Book of Mormons as an Israelite, immediately cut it off. You're dealing with an unlearned person. Okay? Now, I wanted to put that out there real quick. Right? Now, of course, we're going to be going in tomorrow night with a detailed lesson, but going forward, brothers and sisters, we're going to keep our radio shows within a 1.5 to 2 hour period. We'll edify quickly, get in and out between 6 and 8 o'clock every Wednesday. Okay. Now, in respect of that discipline, when I go into Blog Talk, I will never choose the 180-minute option because usually if it's there, I take it. Right. So we're going to do the 2 hour weekly broadcast. Now, speaking of broadcast, YouTube is going into a serious level of censorship starting mid-December. Okay. You can't believe none of what they're saying out there that through the FCC, Google and YouTube had to pay a certain amount, millions of dollars as a fine. And because of that, stringent rules must be applied to YouTube users. We're now living in the purge of truth. They're going to make it where the only information you have access to, brothers and sisters, is the false information we ran from years ago, turning off mainstream to actually speak or listen to content with our brothers and sisters throughout the earth who were on the ground, who didn't have an interest or a special interest in detail in bringing forth information, monetary or otherwise. Their only interest was to tell the truth and get away from mainstream programming. Well, YouTube has become mainstream. It has already been taken over, if you haven't noticed it already. Okay? It's no longer YouTube. It's only YouTube in name. When one go to your browser, when you open up your browser, you don't really see no regular YouTube content maker. Okay? It's all about pandering to those who are in the millions, who are teaching millions of subscribers, teaching the mainstream bull. And usually when we went to YouTube, it was to hear the everyday guy on the street saying what he had to say. So we understand what's really going on opposed to the programming. But it's no longer that. It's about ads. It's about you in the midst of a lesson and then some ridiculous ad pops up in the middle of it. It's about getting in the way or space of truth. So through this, eventually, brothers and sisters, I told people years ago that this time would come in which they'll begin to censor or take truth off of YouTube altogether and only leave the mainstream garbage, the stuff that have always destroyed our people. Okay. You can expect YouTube to continue with their, if they would like, the LGBT progressive, movement. It will be there. That's obviously part of what they're going to do. LGBT, world star, hip hop representation of our people, promoting strippers and whoremongering and evil content. You can expect it. The celebration of Christmas and good tiding under Satan, Sunday worship, TD Jakes. And guess what? In this time of the awakening, eventually, brothers and sisters, what's going to happen? Our people are going to tune that out anyway. So, in respect of that, we will begin a simulcast in which the same time we're broadcasting on YouTube, as long as they will allow it, we'll also be broadcasting simultaneously through Vimeo. This way, the same broadcast will be in the same place and in two separate places. And if YouTube decide to take down a video, you'll still have access to it. Okay. We'll also use our website. I'm going to go through our website so that you'll be able to stay in the know from day to day, from week to week, stay in the know of our future plans with the church. This way, as YouTube begin to consolidate or censor us off altogether, you'll still have access on where we are, what we're doing, and how to find us in these trying times with what they're ramping up against those who speak the truth. Okay? So keep that in mind, that we knew this time would come in which YouTube would become what it is. In the meantime, what I'm going to ask you all to do, if you haven't already, while YouTube is still in place. I don't know how long our thing will be in place, but I'm working to at least get the subscriptions, because they have been censoring our subscriptions on YouTube, over the 70,000 mark, so that we can forego some of the rules or some of the restrictions that comes with being under 70,000 views. Subscribers. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you all to do in your own time, instead of just looking at our videos, go to A Gathering 144. Go there on a regular basis if you've done this before, in case they have unsubscribed you. Go there, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. If they unsubscribe you, check the next day, subscribe again and hit the bell. We want to get at least 1,000 people almost immediately before this stuff kicks in to get us over 70,000, so that we don't have to deal with some of the issues that come with being under that. Not to say that that's the fix, but I would like to see, once we're over 70,000, what they do. And I'll update you on, the positives and the negatives of that if we are allowed to get to 70,000. They've been holding us under 60,000 subscribers for 2 years. Now, mind you, we were up to 50,000 subscribers for this particular channel. Why? Because they have deleted and taken our channel down a minimum of 8-9 times since I've been on YouTube, 2008, 2009. Right? So what they do here is within the first 6 months of this particular channel, 6 months, we was up to 50,000 subscribers in the first 6 months. This particular channel has been up about 4 or 5 years already. And you mean to tell me we only got 10,000 subscribers, not even 10,000 subscribers in 5 years? So this is censorship, what they're doing. Why? Because their mainstream bogus programming under the age, leading up to the age of Aquarius, as they call it, isn't working. This truth, through the Spirit of the Most High, has organically spread it through our people. Our people have tried everything else and realized it doesn't work. And the only option for the children of God is to come back to the God who put us under this condition and follow the Spirit of His Son, Christ. Okay. Now, I'm not going to be too long. I wanted to give you all some updates. Okay. If you just come in, you would need to go back to this original video and get what's missing. I can't fill you in on the whole thing. I've been speaking for about over 30 minutes here, and I'm about to digress out of here. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you. Age of Aquarius is what the demonic powers today calls the age of the awakening. Okay? But it's really the time God said that He would begin to bring again the captivity of the children of Israel. The time where their programming no longer has the same effect. Right? So I'd like to thank you all for participating, your continual support. I mean, I can't thank you all enough for all the support you've always had with us and with the church. And guess what? Your prayers work, folks. I'm going to tell you. Y'all pray for us, and I know you pray for us. We're praying for you, and the Most High have put us in this position. We haven't I didn't choose to be in this position. I thought I was going to be doing something entirely different with my life, but here I am. And it's too late to back out now, and neither should I or would I want to back out. I'm ready for this. The Most High got my health intact. I'm nice and strong due to your prayers and healthy eating and herbs and all that. And I'm ready for this battle. And I know a lot of you are ready for it too, and we're going to need your help. Okay. And I want to also thank Elder Rawchaa, who is now, I talked to him about this, and of course he's going to be putting this up. We're going to have other elders and deacons throughout different areas putting up content and all that very soon as we spread this word throughout the earth. Elder Rawchaa is doing a great job with his history tidbits. Did you know? And I thank Elder Rawchaa for that and all his support. Again, we have the Africa Initiative to warn our people in Africa to what's to come. We're going to be doing some free concerts and all that in Africa quite soon. An awakening just to give them some information, some truth, to segue or to pivot off of their indoctrination that came through Catholicism as well as Islam. It's time for our people to step away from all of the controlled religions and come back to the God of Israel and follow the Bible as it is written, not under the philosophy of Gentiles. Now, okay. Now I have a few announcements to make. Like I said, brothers and sisters, we'll be, we'll be doing simulcast, Vimeo as well as YouTube. We have the team working on a Patreon page, which will have the updated videos and playlists chronologized from the time in which we began the ministry of all the videos that YouTube has censored. Okay. Now, this is how the demons are trying to level the playing field to stop others from coming to the truth. Is to take out all the content off of YouTube that identify the evil imposition of religious leaders and religious institutions against our people, pointing out who they are, taking out all the damning information that's actually highlighting the evil institutions, and then moving us out of the way with our content, like identifying the synagogue of Satan, the serpent seed found, all the other things identifying the Catholic Church and what they're doing. They're censoring all that, but allowing all the Jesuit information to remain so that they can try to level the information. So where people cannot find the damning information against the controllers. And by doing that, check it out. By doing that, people are dealing with a level of indecision, saying, well, yeah, this Christian theologian or this Christian pastor has a point. Why? The information that would have refuted that point has been censored as hate off of YouTube. See? This is the game they're playing, because they can't really refute the fact that we are the children of Israel, and the people over there claiming to be us aren't the true people. And history itself highlights that fact. So any history showing how these people became who they claim to be today, they're censoring online. Right? So that's why I'm putting it out there for you folks. So the best thing you can do, let me tell you, I don't understand why our people would follow anything in mainstream Christianity today, when a community is the direct result of its religious institutions or its religious authority. If you want to know the purpose of the Christian churches or the institutions we've always supported in our past, if you want to know their real position on our communities and their real positions and why they're in those positions? Just look at the product that came from their teachings. I don't understand why our people are still in these Christian churches when you go outside the church and it looks like a bomb was dropped on it. It looks like a war zone. So what God are you serving, Pastor, when all this rich information or rich spirit you claim to have isn't affecting the people in the community? Where's this kingdom you're talking about? Where is it? When you're not showing no example of a kingdom outside of your four walls. You're not speaking to the injustices within our community, the sexual perversions that have permeated and destroyed the church, the drug dealers that's on the same corner right adjacent to your church. You're not uniting the people together against injustice and evil and wickedness within the community. I don't understand why our people still support these Christian churches, let alone be a Muslim. You understand? It's beyond me. When the Most High punished the priest in the Old Testament, who were their sole responsibility to God was to make sure that the people stayed in line with God's commandments. He punished the priests in the Old Testament. Why? Because our community, as our nation as a community, was infected by what? By the pastors who began to turn to Baal. So these pastors in our community are the reason our community are destitute. You can't just look on the surface and blame blame the sheep. You can't blame the sheep for the communities. Look at the women. They're going off. They're whoremongering. And look at the brothers. They selling drugs. What's going on with this generation? You have the pastors have the nerve to be in the church talking about what's going on with the people in the community. When you were established in the community to lead them with God's law, to teach them the errors of their ways through God's law. But you're in the church talking about them. It's a travesty at this point. Hold on. But I digress. I mean, I made this a whole program. But anyway, let me now go into the plans we'll have for the church going forward, okay? All right? And some of you probably ask, well, why do we fundraise and things like that, right? Well, keep in mind that our church, not like the churches out there today, right, don't get what you would call support from the secular world. All the support our church receives is from those like you who believe in the truth and have decided to help support and spread the word and spread this brand, the true brand of Christianity. One moment. Okay? To spread the true brand of Christianity. So, this is where we are. In order for us to do these initiatives, right, as far as being able to go into Africa with a team, with security, with all that to spread, it's going to take finances. And this is why we do certain fundraisings and do certain things to try to help outside of the offerings and all that comes in. Everything comes in, brothers and sisters. We spread the word with and set the churches up according to the word of the Most High. Okay? So I'm going to ask you all to make sure if you've supported the church, continue to support it, because one thing at the end of it, you're going to see the end of your support. Not like when we were putting our money into these churches. You see the end of you. Everything we said we were going to do, we've done. Everything we have done. When I say we're going to have a representation of the gathering of Christ Church throughout every city in the United States of America before the Exodus, it's going to happen. But how can that happen without bills being paid, people being flew there, financial support for the people that's going to actually be there and raise our people in those communities? All these things take finances. So when I ask and I put these things out, the academy and the things that I'm doing, it's not so I can sit on a high perch somewhere like Jezron and wax fat. No way we can finish this without the support of our people. And this is why we have the academy and this, that, and the other. And I'm going to tell you, it's deep because the other nations has no problem when they see us doing certain things, or no issues of how we raise funds and all that so that we can spread the word, because they have enough sense to know that you cannot do this without finances. The greatest pushback we get is from our own people who say, well, why do you charge for this? And why do you charge for that? And how do you expect people to get on a plane without finances? Huh? How do you expect people to set up and sustain brothers and sisters throughout the earth? But yet we support the nations with everything they do. And don't think twice when we go into a store and need something. Don't even think twice. So that's what I'm talking about. Christ said what? Your treasures is where your heart is, or your heart is where your treasures are. You put the money or any money into what you value. And that's just what it is. And guess what? I'm both feet in everything I ever had since the Most High have given me the understanding of what to do have been put in. Okay? And nothing has changed as far as I'm concerned. The more we get, the more we'll spend to wake up our people. And that's what it's about. And that's why we set up these churches, getting ready before the Exodus, to make sure there's one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one understanding doctrinal wise that's set up through Christ's church is taught and understood amongst our people. And at that point, hey, it's out of our hands. It's in the hands of the Most High at that point. We've done our job. So once we set up these churches and all that and set things up, hey, soon it'll be wilderness time. They're about to put laws in place that would deem teaching the truth treasonous. And it's our position to get in front of this and warn our people. There's nothing new under the sun. They did it before when this ministry began under the disciples, and they're about to ramp up those same laws again. It's going to take the support of the people who has awakened to help us through this so that we can help you through this. And this is why we have initiatives. We're not asking the government for anything. We're not going to the world for anything. It's just like Paul said, if we've sown in unto you our spiritual things, shall we not reap your carnal things? The kingdom is within us. We must support each other all the way through. That's what a nation is. And guess what? And if you don't have, that's understandable too. There's other ways you can support. Share the information. Talk to your brother and sister. Make sure they are aware of the information. Okay? But it's time to really make your voices and have your voices heard through the Spirit of the Most High. And this is what I try to do, and this is what I'm working towards in this work. Okay? I'm working towards making sure if you don't have a voice, as long as the Most High give me a voice, you'll have a voice. Okay? Now, let me go over a few things here. 1 second. First and foremost, you'll see soon a simulcast through Vimeo. We'll also set up a Patreon page in which you'll have all the classic videos that are censored through YouTube. And it's going to be titled Censored Videos You Must Watch to Understand. Censored videos, YouTube censored videos you must watch. You must watch to understand the true doctrine. All them good classic videos with all the other debates and all the understandings that we've had throughout the years will be on this channel because they won't allow them on YouTube. Right? Also, while we're dealing with the simulcast, I'm going to need you all to go to, let me pull it up here. I'm going to need you all to go to Gathering of Christ Church. Let me get over here. gatheringofchristchurch.com, which is on your screen. And as you can see, through this website, gatheringofchristchurch.org, it gives you all the details you'll need concerning our church. Our beliefs are here. The holy days are here. The 12 tribes breakdown is here. Different resources like our library for secular information and all that is there. Our preaching resources. We have the academy here. You see the Academy tab? I tapped on the Academy tab, and right here it tells you how you can support the church. Our Sunday lessons, which are the first day of the week lessons, our school is every Sunday that you all can participate in. $50 a month. That's all it takes. More information you'll find out in our academy. You'll get more information in our academy one day than you would all the days of learning under any Gentile religious institution, including your Christian church. Now, this is what I'll say. Even if someone is listening to this who don't believe what we teach or don't believe anything, you're still skeptical. Okay, that's an earnest. This is something different. It's new. Just take the $50 and do the first quarter. Right? You can already be, even though you're in a Christian church or under some religion, whatever the religion may be, or you may be an atheist. Take $50, which will give you 3 full months, which will give you 1 full month, of the academy. 4 lessons. And I guarantee you, you'll learn more about that Bible in those 4 weeks than all your life in any religious institution. You'll realize the Bible wasn't tampered with. That it was the philosophers that muddied the waters to have us question the validity and the spiritual content of the book. It was Satan's plan to teach through philosophy. And then once those philosophical ideas were proven to be lies, that the people would denounce the Bible and turn to Luciferian understanding. That was the plan of the Satanists the whole time. The Bible is true, and we're here to prove it. December 22nd is our next academy. Only $50 a month. It goes towards the work. Okay? Elder Lawya comes in with the Hebrew 101. We come in with real-time news. What they're teaching in mainstream or what they're trying to propagate through their propaganda, we break it down so that you can see it through the lens of God and understand how to read between the lines and understand when prophecy is unfolding through our GOCC news. And then after that, we send you, you have the lesson in your email already. You can follow the lesson with us and ask questions We have an aptitude test in which you can test your learning in between the week. And guess what? This costs money to actually do. Cameras, production, behind the scenes, administration, making sure you have the material anywhere in the earth. It's not free because it costs money for us to have people working to do this. And only $50 a month. And I need you all to support it because it's initiatives like this that helps us continue to actually finish this work and set it up and give it to brothers in remote areas who right now probably can't afford YouTube or don't even know we're on YouTube or can't afford the academy. Well, suppose we use this money to go into their areas and set it up in their communities. See, that's how it works. And I'm excited about the next lesson we're going to do in the academy. We're doing hell. What they didn't tell you about hell is our lesson this coming Sunday in the academy. The first time we're teaching the truth about hell and why it was created and what it was made from. The center of the earth and where it is and how it's a spiritual realm in which gates, spiritual gates, have one spirit enter into that particular region to rest in the bosom of Abraham or in spiritual torments. Okay, we're going to teach this weekend. You're going to know beyond any shadow of a doubt that hell is real. We're going to teach that this Sunday in this academy. But the first week of our academy, next week we're going in, the 22nd, we'll be going into the creation of the universe. The celestial creation. Before there was earth, what happened and what's out there? We're going to take the majority of the lesson to focus on the life of the celestial before Adam was made from the dust of the ground. What's in the heavens? What is the order of the angels? The ranking systems of the angels. How do they get in and out of our realm? And why did the Catholic Church hide that information from the populace? Why? Because they worship fallen angels. That's the hidden understanding that's within paganism, is that those gods that are worshipped through polytheism in ancient Egypt that was worshipped, and ancient Kemet, and ancient Babylon, yes, it's the worship of the old gods, the fallen angels. Well, they had a rank in order before the fall. Who are they? How did it happen? What happened? Why was earth made? Why was there a judgment for a time in which the earth would end? All of that will be taught in the first week of the academy. The creation of the universe, the celestial beginning, will be our lesson. Information that have yet to be taught anywhere. I haven't seen it, but through fervent study, the Most High have delivered it unto us. Be there. The creation of the universe, the celestial beginning. Now, another thing I wanted to show you all that's coming up, and I hope you could attend if it be the Most High's will. Let me go back here. I'm going back to the GOCC home, gatheringofchrist.org. One-stop shop, and I'll tell you everything of what's going on with our church in the midst of this censorship, right? Now, as you can see here, there's a tab here that says GOCC presents a night of songs. GOCC presents a night of songs. A night of songs and I Am Apparel fashion show. Saturday, December the 14th, 2019, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. GOCC presents a night of songs welcome family. GOCC invites you to a night of songs in Dallas, Texas. Music with a Purpose by myself, Elder Rawchaa. Music with a Purpose created to inspire our generation this great time of the awakening. This project will send ripples throughout the earth and have us now follow righteous musical content given to us by the Most High. The venue will also be an honorary blessing by the elders of our new church for our new church in Dallas, Texas. The venue is 1729 South Beckley Avenue, Dallas, Texas, 75224, December the 14th. The general admission is $40. It's $45 if you pay at the door. And it's $75 if you want the VIP, which give you the VIP close proximity to the stage. I'm going to be there meeting our brothers and sisters in Texas. And you can go there and type in GOCC or go to gathertochrist.org. Hit the tab GOCC presents a night of songs. And I hope to see you all there, especially if you're in the Texas or surrounding states. Okay, if you're in our Texas body, whether it be Houston, Fort Worth, Dallas, the surrounding areas on the outside of it, if you're from Oklahoma or Louisiana, I would like to see you there. We're going to put together an amazing show, music praising the Most High. Also, the Music with the Purpose album will be there so that you can actually deal with that and get that if you would like that to pop in your car or whatever the case is. Very good music. It starts off with Elder Lawya's Lord's Prayer, and a lot of the great songs is on the Music with the Purpose Volume 1 compilation. Well, we'll be there. If you're in Houston, we ask you to come on out, and you can go to our website and get these tickets. If no matter where you are in those surrounding areas, even if you're not from Texas, I would like to meet you there. Just come through. You'll have an amazing show we put together for you, praising the Most High. And of course, some information is going to be dropped that day. All praises be to the Most High. And we'll have the I Am Apparel fashion show headed up by Elder Gabar. Okay? This fashion show is going to show all of the different apparels that's made directly by us from our own machines. Everything comes directly through us, by us. Our stationery, our clothing, all of that. So we want to show you how the nation is building inwardly and make sure we encourage brothers and sisters to know that, folks, no one can stop us. The kingdom is within us. And we need to show forth that example by having our brothers and sisters with the fringes, borders of blue, the different shirts and styles and fashions for the young women, the sisters, the brothers, even the children, clothing our nation. So we're going to have an I Am Apparel fashion show. And all the proceeds go right back into doing what we do, because it's going to be deep going into those remote areas like Africa, spreading the word, needing security, needing, all types of protection and all that. And we have to take our equipment over there too. So keep in mind, this is going to culminate into large concerts all over in Africa, in which we'll invite the villages out for free to hear the word. These underprivileged areas that have always been destroyed by vaccinations and all these other things, and they don't know any better. They don't have access to clean water and certain things like that, and they're being killed off for the resources they're living on. Well, eventually, through these finances with the project, we can get to our people. Okay? There's a plan here that the Most High have given us. All right? Also, we have I Am Apparel Store. As you can see on the tab, one-stop shopping here. I Am Apparel Store, where you can go and purchase, you got it. Polos, tunics. We have women garments, men, women, children, bulk orders, fringes, you name it. All the mocks are here from all the tribes, everything right here. I am apparel. And seeing what we hope to do and what we are doing with the weather breaking is to make sure if brothers and sisters out there, even if you're not with our church and don't believe everything we believe, it's okay. We know that the Gentiles have been taking advantage of all of our people. We have the machines. We have the workers who are willing to work to make sure we clothe our people. So we're going to put it out there to the brothers and sisters out there that if you're buying shirts from Amalek and the other nations, we have the top quality printers, A1 printers. For every mock you can name, every design you can name, you give us your design and we'll undercut the Gentiles on all of the product that you would normally purchase from them. Tell us, send us the receipt of what they usually charge you and we'll do it for less for you. Save you money and still clothe you. And guess what? You don't got to tell people you are supporting us and we won't even say anything. Okay? Because that's what it's about. It's about, if we really talk about being self-sufficient and not supporting the Gentiles and helping our nation, well, listen, I'm willing to help you first. It doesn't matter what Israelite group you're in or whatever the case is. Doesn't matter. Instead of going to Amalek and all that, give us the price of what they're charging you and we'll make it for you cheaper than they would. I am apparel. Reach out to us. And guess what? We don't have to say, well, guess what? This church called us and we're clothing this church. Nah, we're not even into that. The people that are learning under you, that's your flock. You have to guide them into the kingdom of heaven. You're responsible for them. And neither me as an elder would I want to get in the way of that. That's your flock. That's who the Most High entrusted you with to help guide to the kingdom of heaven. That's between you and the Most High. But the kingdom is within, the kingdom cometh not by observation. It's within us. So since the Most High have blessed us to be able to get these machines, and we know that you can't take the machines with us, when the war comes, all this goes to ashes. Okay, but we're going to use the resources that are available to help our people before the war. And that's what this is all about. I am apparel right there. Support it. Go there and see if there's something you can get for your children. And, and know that whatever you're putting out there is actually going to a great cause to help finish the work of the Most High. Right? Another thing, last but not least here, I'm going to go to this page and type in Royalty Music by Shepherd. When you type in Royalty Music by Shepherd.com, as you can see, the music project comes up for the album. It's out now. If you haven't gotten this already, come through and listen to a few of the samples of the songs. They're right here before you. And if you like what you hear, because I don't want you to just support it because it's the church. Okay? I believe that if you get this project, it'll be one of your main listening tools. It will be within the volumes of the songs that you would enjoy. The Most High put the Spirit on us to put this before you. And here it is. You can download the physical CD to get the physical CD, or you can download Music with a Purpose to play on your phones or whatever tablet you have, or you can order the singles. If you like just one song and you want to just download one song to test how it sounds before getting the album, that's your option also. Some people are getting the full album, the case with all the inserts and stuff in it, as well as the download for their phones, to have both in case you want to just pop it in your car, don't have to worry about it. But know that the music is there for you. To Zion, the Lord's Prayer is in there, Unpicked Fruit, A Slave's Journey, A Higher Power's With Me, After the Fire's Gone. Y'all seen the videos out there. So continue to support the CDs because this will help us drive more projects and to support other artists who's doing this work and to bring their music on to the forefront on an entirely different level, knowing that the industry chew our people up and spit us out. So we're trying to, through the Spirit of the Most High, give a viable option outside of our people being used through the music industry. The kingdom is within us. There wouldn't be a music industry if it wasn't for us. But yet the other nations divide the spoils. They take our talent, they demonize us, they take all of our finances, and then they send their children to schools. They give their children inheritance. Look at what's going on with R. Kelly right now. They even turned R. Kelly's own people against him. But guess what? You think they care about R. Kelly or you or them women? That $1 billion catalog will go to some kid who's a child of one of the guys who go to the synagogues. And that child will have an inheritance off of R. Kelly. And guess what? You'll never know that child's name. You'll never know the father that took all of R. Kelly's money that belonged to R. Kelly's children. Say what you want to say about R. Kelly. The money that was made and the royalties that are made are supposed to go to his children. See, and that's what our people are too ignorant to understand out there. We're jumping on the bandwagon against this guy, not realizing they're stealing the future of R. Kelly's children's finances. That's the point. I'm not here to excuse sin, fornication, or adultery. I'm telling you, you should see the big picture. Some kid right now going to a synagogue every Sabbath whose father is a lawyer or a PR guy, they're all planning this to demonize him at the end, knowing that he didn't have the intellect to protect himself so that they can take his future finances away from his children. So listen, I thank the Most High that, man, I tried so hard in my early teens, up into 20. I was signed to Alpha International at the age of 16? Man, I'm so glad, folks, that I didn't make it in that industry. I was too ignorant to understand what it was. And I thank the Most High. So music with a purpose is showing that we can do it without them. Why? It was our music and know-how and ingenuity and connection with the Most High who gifted us with the gift of song. Folks, it was us running the business the whole time. It was us doing the music the whole time. So it's time for us to support one another. And that's what the music project is for, to show it can be done without the gatekeepers. I'm about to move it on music platforms soon. But what I didn't want is for them to benefit from the initial units. Because I knew the initial units were going to be solely from people who've been following the church. Why should I have given Apple or any of these other platforms the finances that was generated through our work? So I'm like, no, we're not going to drive people to their system. We're going to exhaust first what belongs to the work. And then after the sales dwindle down and it's no longer anything coming from that, then we'll put it on the platforms. Okay. All right. So again, okay, another thing. Near Purim, about mid-February, the Gathering of Christ Church will do what we call a Music with Purpose fashion show, but it's going to be a white carpet event. All white. It's going to be, I think this place hold 1,000 in attendance, right? And it's going to be in Houston the weekend before Purim. Okay, about the 15th on a Saturday night, right before Purim, we'll be in Houston. It's going to be a big venue that holds over 1,000 people, about 1,000. And we're going to do the show, but it's going to be on an entirely different level. We're going to also we're going to have Quadam. You know, Quadam did Meet Me Down and all those things. He's going to be there. We're going to have a maestro, the music guy that's behind a lot of the music that we've done. Beautiful brother. He's been with me for a long time. I love the brother. He's going to have his own show within the show there. And we're going to have I Am Apparel, but we're going to try to get a few of the acts that are known on YouTube for the truth music to come out with us. It's going to be a big show near Purim in Houston, Texas. And you'll hear that advertised soon on how to purchase the tickets. And I'm going to ask Dallas and the surrounding areas to support the Houston body, like the Houston body and the other churches in Texas will be there in a few weeks. I'm going to be there in Dallas, in a few weeks. Okay. So it's going to be big. All right. And the way we're going to do it, we're going to commune together. This is going to be a thing where, we'll have an area where upstairs separate, where if you have children, there's a room in which you can have your children there and separate it from everything else. It's going to be a church event. It's going to be 18 and over who can take communion. And the communion is going to be in a classy way. We're going to have all white. And what we'll have is, through intermission, the ushers and others that serve, they're going to make sure that they have white wine or a nice Merlot or something, in which between each segment of the show, we're going to have brothers and sisters with their glass. It's going to be a royal glass, which will come through if you are 18 and over, and you'll be able to take communion with us in between the shows, in which we're toasting to this awakening. Yeah. And oh yeah. After that, we're going to set up and we're going to come to the Carolinas for a Music with a Purpose show. And then around after Passover, we're looking to do one in Atlanta. By that time, we'll have volume 2 out. And I'm excited to where the Most High is taking this. Because every place we go, we'll have churches set up. And we're going to consolidate the work and the finances to say, okay, elders, deacons, sisters in the administration, let's all get together here and let's talk about the adjoining states that need support, who needs a gathering of Christ Church presence. And here's the tickets. Y'all get it together. You go there. Here's the venue. We're going to get it together, and we'll have a station there. We'll have a chapter there. And before you know it, all white everywhere throughout the earth. All praises be to the Most High. Okay. Oh, yeah, we coming to Virginia Beach also. We're coming. See, I think I'm going to start doing this. Give an annual address of what the plans are with the church. All right. So, and we're going to be baptizing everywhere. It's all praises be to the Most High. And again, brothers and sisters, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for you. Okay? I'm just a vessel. Elder Lawya, he's just a vessel. We're workers in Christ's vineyard. Okay? We're going to do it as long as the Most High give us breath. And I just want to say this, right? Brothers and sisters, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for all you've done with your support of this church. I thank you. And I mean, I wish I can do more. And whatever the Most High put in my heart to do to finish, I'll at least do that. Okay, I'll answer one. We're coming up, Birmingham, Alabama, everything. So make sure you go to gatheringofchrist.org regularly to tap in, to make sure, so you'll know exactly what's going on with the church. Know that we have a simulcast through Vimeo, in which you can see all the videos through Vimeo. Know that we're setting up a Patreon. This way you can see all the videos YouTube has censored. Okay. And go there and celebrate the church. Yes, of course, we'll be in Colorado. We're going to have a place of gathering in Denver, Colorado, an actual charter or a chapter of our church in Denver. Yes, it's coming. We already have a church in London in the UK, but right now we are actually organizing the UK so that we can go, so we can step it up to the next level in the UK altogether. And we're going to have more of a presence. We're going to be teaching at least 3 times a week. In any respective areas, we're going to be teaching, dropping it. The doctrine of Christ and the spirit of love. Hey, you know we're going to be coming with that fire too, right? So it's not as if we're not going to be dealing with that. You know, we can get down with you. But at the end of these discussions, it's going to lead to some water. I'm not here to show that I have more information than you, or that I'm smarter than you, or I'm trying to beat you intellectually. No, none of this means anything if Christ isn't exalted, and at the end of it, there's a resolve. At the end of it, there must be edification. So it's about edifying at the end of it, not about challenging and boosting one's libido and all that. No, it's about delivering the kingdom of heaven to our people. And I'm glad that the Most High, has grown us to that point, to understand what the gospel, what the truth is. Sometimes, believe it or not, you can be more effective saying nothing at all. Right? So it's not about all, challenging and who got the best and how much knowledge you know. What good is it if at the end of the day we're hellbound? What good is the knowledge? Knowledge puffeth up. Knowledge without the Spirit is nothing. I can answer this question, and then I wish you all Godspeed. You have a pleasant day, and of course, we'll see you tomorrow night. Well, you'll see me tomorrow night here for Blog Talk. Last question. Why do we pray to the east? I can show you better than I can tell you. Hold on. One moment. I'm at 1 Kings 8:26. It says, "And now, O God of Israel, let thy word, I pray thee, be verified, which thou speakest unto thy servant David, my father. But will God indeed dwell on earth? Behold, the heaven and heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house that I have builded? Yet have thou respect unto thy prayer, the prayer of thy servant, and unto his supplication, O Lord my God. to hearken unto the cry and the prayer which thy servant prayer before thee today. That thine eyes may be open towards this house night and day, and even toward the place which thou hast said, my name shall be there. That thou mayest hearken unto the prayer which thy servant shall make toward this place. And hearken unto the supplication of thy servant and thy people Israel, when they shall pray towards this place. And hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and when thou hearest, forgive. If any man trespass against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to cause him to swear, and the oath come before thine altar in thine house, then hear thou in heaven, and do and judge thy servants, condemning the wicked, to bring his way upon his head, and justifying the righteous, to give him according to his righteousness. When thy people Israel be smitten down before thine enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and this is the case we're in now, and shall turn again to thee, and confess thy name, his name is Ahiah, and pray, and make a supplication unto thee in this house, then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sin of thy people Israel, and bring them again unto the land which thou gavest unto their fathers. This is why we pray towards the east. Okay? With that, I'm going to say shalom. We love you. Stay strong. Sin not. Support the work. And we will soon see Zion. Begging, please. Please don't let me forget the strength.
Are you seeking to strengthen your biblical foundation? Join us in the Hebrew Bible Academy, where we offer 12 weeks of in-depth learning in a structured environment. Receive real-time news from Brother Shabbat and amazing lessons by Elder Rawchaa. Learn ancient Hebrew with Elder Lawya. With 12 amazing lessons, you're guaranteed to learn more about your true biblical history and authentic Hebrew language than you would in a traditional Christian church for only a one-time payment of $150 or 3 monthly payments of $50. Join us at historytimes.org and sign up today. It's not too late. See you in the academy.